Hi everyone, welcome back. I just wanted to do a shoe review on all the super shoes that I've currently got at the moment, and I'll probably start with the oldest ones and work my way towards the newest ones, being the Alphafly 3s. So yeah, we'll get straight into it. So the first shoe I want to go through today is, this is the Hoka Carbo X1s, the first iteration. So these are quite old now, and the reason why I bought these was because I needed a tempo shoe. And I seen Jim Walmsley, well, he was going for the 100k world record, or it might have been the 50-mile world record, and he wore this shoe and I think he just missed it by 8 seconds, which was a bit gutting, to be honest, to run all that way and miss the world record by 8 seconds. But he got an American record, and obviously he's one of the best ultramarathon runners in the world. So this shoe, I've got to be honest, the grip wasn't the best. As you can see from the bottom there, it's not the best. But I've done lots of miles in these shoes. I used to use them for my tempo run every week, and I've done up to 15 miles, sometimes even 18 mile in these shoes. And the only problem I've had is a slight little wear and tear in the Achilles there, but for the amount of miles I've done in them, it's actually not too bad. You can probably pick these up for really cheap now, because there's X3s out now. So yeah, worth a look into. I thought I would put them in there because these were the first super shoe I sort of bought. Well, first shoe with a carbon plate in. So yeah, if you can pick up some of them cheap, then it's worth a look into. So anyone who's involved in the running world will recognise this pair of shoes. So Nike released these and a pink pair. Oh, it must have been 2018, 2019 maybe now. It was quite a long time ago. And honestly, these were amazing. Game changer, these were. Every local race you went to, you would see people running around in pink or green shoes. They just took the world by storm. Nike were the first people to really get the super shoe right with a carbon plate in. And I literally ran PBs across the board in these. They were a huge step up from the 4%. I think I've done 700 mile in these, and they're still going strong. The only thing that's happened is I've lost a bit of grip from the bottom here. But I still train in these a lot. I think I'll be able to get 1,000 miles out of these. I don't think they sell these anymore, but if you can pick up a pair of these that are reasonably good condition, I would 100% try and pick up a pair. I found the Vaporfly 2s weren't much different, but the Vaporfly 3s have probably got a bit more support. They're not as aggressive. You could probably get away with running a half marathon in them. Don't get us wrong, the Vaporfly 3 is a good shoe, but the Vaporfly 1 and 2 was more aggressive and was a 5k, 10k more suited type of shoe. So staying with Nike, these are the Alphafly 1s. These have been a workhorse of mine lately. I do all my tempo runs and my sort of steady pace running in these, and I think I've done 500 mile in these now as well, and they're still going strong. All the grips on the bottom still intact. There's a little bit of wear and tear there and this bit here. Honestly, I've got to take my hat off to Nike for the robustness of the shoes. I've heard people say that they only last 200 mile, sometimes even a few races, but that's garbage. So yeah, Alphafly 1s, really good shoe, good value for money considering how long they last. For a marathon, when these first came out, they were absolutely game changing. They've brought out Alphafly 2s and 3s now, and the Alphafly 2s didn't work for me. So on this part of the shoe, where the arch of the foot, I got really bad blisters in the Alphafly 2s, so I just sent them back. Didn't enjoy them whatsoever. I bought the Kipchoge version and they were quite expensive, and I really wasn't happy with them. But as you can see, I've picked up these Alphafly 3s now, and they've sorted that problem out, which is a good one, but I'll get onto them in a bit. So yeah, if you can pick up Alphafly 1s in the sale or a good condition on Vinted, you know, it's definitely worth getting because they last ages and still to this day are really, really good shoe. If you can pick up a pair of these for £100, £120 instead of paying £285 for the Alphafly 3s, it's definitely worth doing. So these Adidas Adios Pro 3s were my favourite shoe up until recently. I've had these for a few years now. I ran my 5k PB in these of 14:52, and I think they're good for everything. I would wear these for a marathon, I would wear these for a 5k, and they're good value for money as well. I picked up these for £140 in the sale, obviously, and you can actually get them in the sale still. 140 quid I think they're bringing out the Adios Pro 4s soon, so look out for that. But Adidas have also got a new shoe that's out that you can't actually get a hold of. It's limited. I think they only released 1,000 odd pairs, but it's £400–500. I mean, unless you're going for an Olympic qualifying time, there's no need to be spending £500 on a pair of shoes. That's just ridiculous. If you're quite a serious runner, I would highly recommend trying a pair of these. But these don't have a carbon plate in, they have a carbon set of rods that almost like mirror your feet. I just like the lacing system in these. They look cool, there's lots of cushioning, and with them rods at the bottom, really good grip as well. At Armour there was some tight little corners and no bother whatsoever. It was slightly wet, and although they look quite smooth, they actually are really grippy. So Adidas, obviously you've got a partnership with Continental who do race tyres for cars on the track, F1, so you know it's good rubber, good quality rubber, and it's really sticky. There's no tread on the bottom really, but it doesn't wear away, which is quite good. There's a guy from Up With Harriers who I actually recommended this shoe to, Gavin. You'll not mind me saying, but he tried these out and he loved them that much. They were in the sale, so I think he bought 4 pairs. So it just goes to show, if you love a shoe, before the prices go silly and eventually reach £300, just if you find a shoe you love, just buy a few pairs of it and keep them in good condition. Maybe just train heavy in sort of mileage shoes and only use super shoes. Just keep them for just race day alone. So moving on to the Puma Nitro Fast R's. This is version 1 in this new colourway, and I've got to be honest, I didn't like these shoes. I wore them for a few long runs and a few sessions, and I didn't find them as aggressive or poppy as some of the other ones, especially the new Cielos and the new Alphafly 3s. These are just nowhere near as good. I found on the ball of the foot here, I was getting a sore foot. There wasn't much cushioning under here, so I don't know how people can run a marathon in these, because that was only after 6 miles. Whereas this part of my foot, I had blisters starting to form and it was hurting. They are quite a cool design how the carbon fibre plate comes actually out through the shoe. But yeah, I was really disappointed in these. I'm probably going to send them back. They have brought out a new version which look horrendous. They're really ugly. It's like a horrible greeny yellow colour, but apparently they are really good. Now I haven't tried them, so if you're into running marathons, I know the Canadian Rory Linkletter, he managed to run the Olympic qualifying time in them. So if they're good enough for him, you know, they might be worth a shout, might be worth having a look into. But honestly, the version 1s, I wasn't impressed with these whatsoever. For £250, it's a no from me. So these 2 pairs of shoes are my latest buys. The Hoka Cielo X1s and the Alphafly 3s. I actually picked these up in the limited release. So these have got lots of cushioning in the bottom. You've got a huge carbon fibre plate. They come in 2 crazy colours. There's one solar flare red, which is this colour, and then there's a more less flashy blue colour. But I've got to be honest, I'm really impressed with these so far. The grip on the bottom's really good. The carbon plate gives a lot of pop, and they're quite aggressive for being sort of like a marathon type shoe. Cushioning, obviously you can see from the size of the bottom there. They're really thick, provide lots of cushioning, and they just feel so smooth when you're running along. I even tried them on the track on Thursday and we did 3 by a mile. I went 4:57, 4:56, 4:52, and they felt great. That was even on a windy and wet day as well. What I do like about these as well is the shoe lacing at the front. It really does feel like a sock. This tongue's like a half cutted out, gusseted tongue, and it fits round like a sock. So you pull the shoe on and tighten the laces up, and the whole shoe just covers your foot, and it's so comfy. These are £250. If you sign up to the Hoka website for your first order, you can get 10% off, which is nice. £225 for this shoe. I would say if you're a very serious runner and you're looking for a half marathon to a marathon sort of type of shoe, go for these. If you like Hoka and you want to do a 5k to 10k, I would say maybe go for the Carbon X2s. They do a lovely black colour. The other colours are a bit bright and out there, but the black colour, if you can get them when they're not sold out. So yeah, Hoka have really stepped it up now. They're bringing out some nice gear. A few of the Motorbuff lads, Rory and Scott Beattie, are sponsored by Hoka, and some of their race kit looks awesome. yeah, Hoka are doing bits at the moment, so it's worth looking on their website. So I'm a big fan of these, but I've got to say, now I've got the Alphafly 3s, I'm slightly more edging towards them. Are they worth an extra £30? Probably yes. I would definitely try and get a pair of these Alphafly 3s. I mean, look at them. They're probably a bit better in the white colour, but I couldn't get the white, so I had to go for this sort of a luminous yellow colour. I just think they look a bit crazy, but if you're spending a lot of money on a shoe, you kind of low-key do want people to notice them. We've got this cutout under here, which is, I think it's for aerodynamics. What's different between the Alphafly 1 and 2 and the Alphafly 3 is no cutout on the Alphafly 3, it's just a straight down. But it's actually hollow under here to save weight. You've got the carbon plate running all the way through. Yeah, I just think this is such a good looking shoe. The back sort of comes out like this. I'm guessing that's for wind resistance and reduced drag. I feel like the Alphafly 2s were more suited to people with very narrow feet, and they didn't do a wide option. And obviously they've listened to people's reviews, they've changed the shoe, and it's honestly so snug when you put it on. So the lacing system on these Alphafly 3s is really good. It's like a sock, similar to the Hoka Cielo X1s. When you pull it tight, it grips your foot. It's like having a sock and it doesn't move. Also very breathable. I think they've just basically perfected this shoe, to be honest. It's worth the money. If you're serious in your running, you've got a big marathon coming up and you want the best of the best, highly recommend this Alphafly 3. So there's lots of grip on the bottom. You've got a cool design. The Nike tick comes all the way onto the base of the shoe. You've got the AirPods to provide support. Full length carbon plate. They're aggressive enough. Similar to the Vaporflies, you've got the aggression, the heel to toe drop, and I just think they look awesome. Although I do love the Adios Pro 3s, I think if money was no objective, this Alphafly 3 is probably the best shoe out there. I'm yet to try the new Asics and the new New Balance, but I've heard good reviews from them as well. So maybe in the future I could potentially get a hold of the Asics or the New Balance, but at the moment, with the shoes I've got, I think this Alphafly 3 really does top it. If you're looking for value for money, definitely go for the Adios Pro 3, because they're nearly as good as the Alphafly 3s. But if money was no objective, I've got to say Alphafly 3 takes it. They've been out for a few years and I still love them. 200 miles in these and they're still going strong. I guess everyone's got a price. You do you. Lots of companies are trying different designs. All these shoes are different. People's feet are different size, shapes, you know. You've just got to try different shoes on and I guess see what's best for you. What might be best for me might not be the best for anyone else. I know Ben Felton, you've probably seen Ben is running on YouTube and Instagram. He absolutely loved the Alphafly 2s, but I couldn't get away with them. So, you know, it's all personal preference. No one's right, no one's wrong. Because obviously I'm not sponsored by any company whatsoever. I just try shoes because I love the sport and I like doing these sort of videos. Obviously the biggest killer for Nike is going to be the price. They've put them up to £285 I believe. So yeah, it's hard to get a hold of them as well. It's a lot of money, but I feel like when you think about how long it takes to train and how many miles and how much time and effort you put into training, I feel like a trainer is all you need. Everyone's got running racing kits, like vests and shorts and socks. The only thing you really need, the only tool you need to race and run well is a new shoe. So it might be a good investment in yourself to go for a nicer pair of shoes. I would say if you're a park runner or just a jogger, you could probably get away with a cheaper pair. Maybe even just buy a pair of Invincibles to just do everything in. But if you want a lightweight, fast racing shoe, definitely look no further than the Adios Pro 3. If you're a more serious runner and you really want to get the best out of yourself and run a PB on race day, I feel like this would be a great investment. Any super shoe you can get, even if it's second hand on Vinted for maybe £80, you know, it's definitely worth looking at because super shoes are changing the game. Everyone's wearing them. The technology in sport, you know, every sport's moving on with technology. Look at F1, the fastest car wins. Look at golf, the best clubs tend to go further. You know, back in the day when they were using wooden clubs, they were barely hitting 280 yards. Now they're driving 400 yards. Bryson DeChambeau. If you don't want to purchase a pair of super shoes like this, you're kind of at an unfair advantage. So these are my super shoes, and this is my video on all the pairs I've got. I've probably spent way too much money on these, but hey ho, it's the only sport I do, and I just see it as an investment in myself. I'll timestamp these below so you can fast forward to different shoes if you want, or come back to this video. So yeah, that's been my shoe review on all my super shoes that I've bought over the years. This has been 4 or 5 years in the making, so I haven't just bought all these this year. So if you can like, comment and subscribe, and let us know which is your favourite, or if I've missed any out that I haven't actually got myself. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.